everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Gutfeld. I'm Joe Machi, filling in for Greg, who is vacationing in an undisclosed country where rich people are allowed to shoot giraffes. Let's welcome tonight's guests. She can be the life of the party at her own wake. Fox News anchor Julie Banderas. He would need to be in traction to be more laid back. Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. She's pregnant and is praying her kid looks nothing like Joe DeVito. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tim. His uvula is bigger than a punching bag. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion Tyrus.
I'm gonna Google it.
Uvula?
Okay, before we get, it's the thing in your neck, the back of your throat.
I'll look for it later when I punch you.
Oh boy. Well, we're already off the rails. Okay, before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading these. So if they don't suck, we'll send me to Golden Corral without a shock collar.
Ew.
A McDonald's worker in Georgia started a fire because he thought the drive-thru was too busy. As a result, some of the food was actually served warm. Jimmy Kimmel has turned down an invitation to host the 2025 Oscars. But don't worry, producers of the show are still confident they can find a way to make the show suck. New research shows popular condoms contain dangerous amounts of toxic chemicals. So stay safe, everybody. Stop using condoms. Sinners. Researchers say an ancient mummy with a shrieking expression may have died screaming from agony. Scientists were able to produce its final expression. Following the assassination of a Hamas leader in Tehran, the Iranian regime has raised their symbolic red flag of revenge, replacing their usual flag of chillin' and good vibes. A plea deal means the death penalty is off the table for 9/11 mastermind Khaled Sheikh Mohammed. Biden staffers claim the president did not play a role in negotiations because he forgot 9/11. Legend. Michael Moore advised President Trump to leave the comedy to the Irish and the Jews and the African Americans. Fellow Democrats added, those groups should also have their own schools. Finally, doctors in Vietnam have removed a 26-inch live eel from a man's large intestine after he shoved it up his anus. But don't worry, the patient is recovering nicely and should be back next week.
Feels true.
I'd like to start with a monologue with a quick story about a time I went to the post office. Just for the stuff I send to Katy Perry each month, mostly nail and hair clippings. The clerk took one look at me and said, "You look like you've had too much coffee." I thought, is it normal for government workers to immediately roast customers? And that guy should talk. He was fat, bald, looked like he got dressed in a tornado. Of course, I didn't say this to a postal worker. It wasn't worth getting shot. This made me think the reason Americans are failed by their government so often at so many levels is government workers rarely get fired. We expect less from them than Hunter expected from his laptop repairman. Look at any government agency and you'll see mediocrity, incompetence, and outright failure lead to promotion after pay raise. For instance, during the AIDS pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci falsely stated mere close contact with sufferers could spread the disease. This stigmatized people with AIDS when they really needed someone to hold their hand. What was Fauci's punishment for making such an easily disprovable error? He was quickly promoted to the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. There, Fauci would use gain of function. Then he was wrong on masks. I had to wear a cloth with my snot on it just to buy a donut. And I buy many, many donuts. He was wrong on lockdowns and vaccines, lied to Congress, and retired with a pension. It doesn't end there. In July of 2021, in the midst of the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, President Biden told us this.
Our military and intelligence leaders are confident they have the capabilities to protect the homeland and our interests from any resurgent terrorist challenge emerging or emanating from Afghanistan.
That was as backwards as my ball cap when I arm wrestle. Afghanistan fell faster than a helicopter in Iran. That retreat from Kabul made Saigon look like flying first class. Why do Jake Sullivan, Antony Blinken, and Lloyd Austin still have jobs? Maybe it's so Joe Biden isn't in charge of our nuclear weapons. Janet Yellen says inflation will be transitory. You may not be aware of it, but she's still running our economy because you have 3 jobs. The list goes on and on like my gift registry at Omaha Steaks. We have a space agency without spaceships. We spend billions on EV chargers and rural internet that never get built, and no one gets laid off. I'd love to hear of a massive layoff at the government. Then they can go ask the government for help and see how much they suck. The government just doesn't understand incentives and consequences. Teachers get paid for time in. You can be a great teacher that makes a difference, or you can suck. But as long as you don't get convicted of molesting kids, you all get paid the same. I would be a horrible employee if I didn't have to worry about getting fired. I'd pat Greg on the head each morning and wear jean shorts on panel. It's that fear of being fired that has me calling Greg Quadmaster after he calls me pork chop. And truthfully, being fired can be good. Greg's got fired numerous times, and each time he's moved to an even better job to get fired from. Elon Musk in Argentina prove you don't need bloated staffs that accomplish nothing. And so does your favorite late-night talk show. We here at Gutfeld have a staff a fraction of the size of those other shows. Although I still think we should cut some dead weight. Julie, how are you?
Oh, I'm so well.
Me too. Cool as a waterbed.
As a waterbed?
You ever get on a waterbed?
No, not since my grandma died in 1970.
Okay, okay.
Not since like my first boyfriend when I was 16.
Okay, I admit it. That was a bad ad lib.
Okay.
I'm glad we got that
That
one out of the
also was
way.
in 1970.
Shut up.
I'll just let you guys take over from
The
here.
uvula is that little dangly thing in your throat.
Yeah, it's like a punching
when you
bag.
open your
Is it
mouth.
supposed
that
to be little?
Well, usually, but he was referring to yours as obviously being the size of like somebody's head.
Okay. All right.
That's not the
That's what you
tonsils?
were going with? That's not your tonsils. Your tonsils are in the back of your throat. Do you not know like anatomy?
I have this
apparently I
whole
don't.
list of
How did you have
questions
I don't know
I'd like
the
to
back
get
of the
to.
throat.
Julie, why
He stopped
do
him
we...
though here with the back of his
Oh,
throat. I'm sorry.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Julie, why do we as Americans struggle to hold anyone accountable for the mistakes they make in government?
I don't know, because nobody takes accountability these days. And I mean, I think it's why Kamala Harris is running for president, because she should have been fired as well. Usually you get fired when you suck at your job, right? But now, unless, like you pointed out, you're, I guess, accused of sexual molestation of a child, then you hold on to your job. That's like the bar now. She is failing her way to the top. She should have been fired. She should have been demoted. But instead, she's promoted to now what's going to be a presidential candidate. That's the way this country works. We always like to award failures. Right? No?
That-
I mean,
I
look
mean-
at that. They let you host tonight. Joe, you know I love you.
That was a shot across the bow. It's good-natured ribbing among friends because we all think I'm doing a great job. No one would say I was terrible if I was doing terrible. Charlie?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great example. The better example is Joe Biden, who's been here for 50 years and never been fired. And, we had this amazing situation yesterday where as you point out in your monologue, KSM strikes a deal for killing, again, just to be clear, murdering. He agrees to plead guilty to murdering 2,076 innocent citizens on American soil, and then gets a plea deal from the federal government. And what does the White House say? We had nothing to do with that. That's amazing. How did you not have it? Who's in charge? What does anybody have to do to get fired? But the one problem with it is that, of course, the reason Joe Biden has been in Washington for 50 years is because voters keep sending him back. So it's a problem that voters need to wake up, pay attention, start voting for better people.
That's a good point, Kat. This is probably a sensitive subject, being fired. Have you ever been fired and deserved it? I got fired from telemarketing for being polite.
You're real close to a firing right now, bro.
Probably. This is...
I was fired once from a Ruby Tuesday, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
What happened?
I don't think it's best if I share.
Okay, fair enough.
But I got fired. But it's so hard. It's so hard for the government to get fired. It's also because people will simp for if it's their side and they do something wrong. They're like, yeah, but this person on this other side did something that was so much worse. And then these people gain more and more power and control, and they play us against each other while we just all lose our rights. Happy Friday.
That's a good point. Like, if you're getting a speeding ticket, you can be like, well, Alec Baldwin got away with way worse.
Yeah, well, he did, yeah.
Have you tried that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, what do you do when someone pulls you? I would love to watch you being pulled over. And just see the reaction of the officer when you started talking.
They have a lot of questions that have nothing to do with how fast I was. Tyrus, I can't imagine you ever being fired. That would be terrifying.
First of all, great monologue, great
Thank
points.
you.
Yeah, and I've been fired by the best, usually over the phone. Never been fired in person. I kind of like that, process of like someone half my size having me sit down in front of them, telling me that they don't want me around anymore. That would be interesting. But I think, to your point, and you made a tremendous point when you broke down the Fauci thing, it really was like, wow, man, that's what happened. Not that situation, but in this administration, when you DEI hire, you're only hiring for the way they look. You don't care about performance, because if you did, they wouldn't be there in the first place. So that's why there's no firings, because everyone there is the first. So you can't be fired as the first. So they're all too busy walking around virtually signaling each other, and they don't rely on government assistance, these people, so they continue to do what they're doing. So there needs to be a massive firing, and to your point, the voters, we can fire them all, and we should be firing them all, and we should be asking things, and you should be writing petitions if your senator or your congressman's not doing, if they're spending all their time on TV talking trash and not in their office doing work, you should count those days that they're not doing work and be like, I'm not voting for you. Why? Because you never showed up for the job. And again, not being accountable for anything. Until the American people start making these governments accountable, or we get somebody in there who's willing to fire, because that was one of the biggest criticisms of the Trump administration, was that he fired everybody. He fired friends, family members. If you weren't on, if you had the wrong color tie on that day, your ass was out of there. But you know what? Everyone was on their toes, and that's why so much stuff got done, because they knew you were one bad move or incompetent move away from losing your job, and that's the way it's supposed to be in these high-level jobs that you get so much benefits from. You serve in the Senate, then you get to go to schools and get paid money to speak about how successful your assistants were at making decisions for you. And you get all these extra things and foundations and all this. You should be held to the fire. So this is great. I know we like to laugh and stuff, but that's a great point.
Wait, I just got to say, the fact that a former president was just almost killed and nobody's been fired over that, I mean, that takes the cake right there. I mean, honestly, from the Secret Service, there should be multiple heads that should roll. We just watched the hearings this week. It was unprecedented. Never in history has the Secret Service been so responsible for the possible assassination of a president, and nobody's been fired.
Well,
If you don't think somebody's... So if somebody's not going to get fired because, oops, I'm sorry, the president almost got killed, and some innocent person who was in the background got shot and is dead, and nobody gets
They have
fired after
murder on
that.
their hands. Somebody's responsible
But
for the
nobody's
murder of
been
Corey
fired, so
Carpenter,
that sets the bar as low. It does not go any lower than that, and I'm all about setting the bar low. I say low expectations, and you won't expect anything from me.
I agree with everything you just said. It's just that that's the topic we have for the next segment.
Oh, all right.
And I feel this is a good thing because now we are on
that
like
was
a
my
great
pregame. That was
starting
foreplay.
point.
No, you just wait. I got more.
Because well, I'm still going to do the rhyme, but I feel like we've given it all away. But this is good. This is a good thing. We're not starting from zero. Maybe Greg can take notes and learn that you just start. All right, before we go, this month I'm taking a much-deserved break from stand-up, but I'll be back on the road this fall. Until then, you can follow me on Rumble, X, and if you're okay with censorship, Facebook and Instagram.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.